Hello YouTube, and welcome to another video. This is another update video on my goal for the year of getting rid of my gas supply, or getting off fossil fuels, but the only part that remains is to get my gas supply cut off. And as I left it at the end of the last update, I was waiting for Octopus Energy to come out to my house again to have a look at a proposed different routing of the flow and return pipes to the heat pump, to see if we could avoid coming in through the top of the airing cupboard, where there is this plasterboard that they were concerned had asbestos. So it turns out, when the Octopus Energy guy came out for the second time to have a look at my proposed new route, that it's not the plasterboard itself that they're concerned would have asbestos in it. It's the actual Artex, the dipply effect stuff that they paint on it to give it that sort of pimply effect. That's the bit that might have asbestos in it, not the actual plasterboard itself. So I misunderstood him when he came round before, and this dipply effect artexing is throughout the house. So if there is asbestos in that, then it's going to be everywhere. So he suggested it's still worth our while to get that tested, so that we know, that this stuff is everywhere on the ceilings in the house. So that is something that we're probably going to have to do anyway then. And yeah, I think one of my viewers left a link to a company that he used in the description on one of my previous videos, so I might contact those people, and they do the testing for you, and will send off some samples to a lab, and you get back the results. So thanks for the person who put that on there. I'll probably use that. So yeah, he came out, and apart from telling me that, he had a look at the new proposed route that I'd suggested, and I also spoke to him about the fact that we've got this one pipe system, and really, as soon as I said that kind of put a nail in the coffin, really. He basically said it won't work with a one pipe system, so that kind of put the kibosh on the whole thing. And basically he said, in order for us to proceed, we would have to get all the current radiator system changed to a two pipe system. And I said, okay, well, if you factor that into the quote then, and let me know how much it's going to be. But they said they won't do that. They're looking for just the simple installs, and we would have to get a separate plumbing company to come out and change the whole system over to a two pipe system first, and then once that had been done, then we could get Octopus out to come and change it to a heat pump. But straight away I was thinking, well, it's almost certainly going to be more expensive to get two separate plumbing companies to come and do the job. It's going to be cheaper to get one company to come out and change it to a two pipe system at exactly the same time as fitting the heat pump, because then they don't have to pull up boards and things twice and all the rest of it. So it's almost certainly going to be cheaper to do it with just one company. So it means that I'm probably not going to be able to use Octopus for my installation, and instead I'll have to find another company that will come and do it all in one go. But it also means that realistically, there's only like 6 weeks of the year left now. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to get it done this year. So I think I'm going to have to accept defeat, and decide that we're going to have to continue to use the gas through this winter, and then when we get to the spring and we shut it off next year, hopefully through the summer months we can get we can get all this done, but it just doesn't make sense to keep pursuing it now to try and squeeze it in before the year out. So yeah, there is that. But it also brings up the whole question of, well, if we've got to get it changed to a two-pipe system, as well as having the heat pump fitted, then obviously that adds significantly to the cost. And so the question then comes up as to whether or not it's having a air-to-water heat pump makes sense, or whether we'd be better off actually just ripping out all the radiators and getting an air-to-air heat pump system, like air conditioning, which would give us the benefit of being able to cool the house in the summer. Yes, we wouldn't qualify for the government grant of £5,000 anymore, but if the cost of having the house changed to a two-pipe system is going to be £5,000, and then the cost of then having the heat pump done, to get is whatever that is, but you then get the £5,000 back, then really you're no better off than just ripping it all out and having an air-to-air heat pump system put in if it's like for like cost. So that's something I'm going to have to give some thought to now, and I've got some time to think about it, obviously, because we're not going to get it done this year now. So it could be more beneficial to do that and just get all the radiators literally just ripped out. And the other alternative, of course, would be to just get electric rads put in throughout the house, which are not going to be as efficient as having a heat pump, but the installation cost would be far lower, and it would take a long time of using those less efficient heaters with increased costs to offset the difference in installation cost. It could take, you could be looking at sort of £8,000, £9,000 difference in installation cost, and that would take a lot of years of using those rads before you recouped that and started effectively being worse off. And the other advantage of having electric rads is, of course, that each one has its own thermostat for each room. Each rad is an intelligent device. So in rooms where there's nobody there, you could just switch them off. Like, for example, when my son's away at university, his bedroom door's shut, he's not there for several months at a time, we could just shut that one off and just leave that room off, and so we'd have the benefit of not having that rad on. And also the one in the front room, if we had the log burner going for example, it just wouldn't, that radiator wouldn't come on because it would say it's already hot enough in the front room, so it's it wouldn't need to be on. So, and it also means we could set the temperature, for example, in our bedroom to be a bit cooler, like 17 degrees, for sleeping it'd be more comfortable, but the ones in the rest of the house could be set to 21, for example. So there'd be some benefits to having just normal electric rads, and I could do all the work of mounting the rads on the walls myself, and then just get an electrician to come in and run a new circuit around the house and put a socket next to each of the rads that I'd mounted on the wall, so that they can each be plugged in, and then I can do a lot of the work. So that would save a lot of the money and make the installation cost a lot cheaper. So something to think about. I'm following a couple of people on Twitter who are trialing sort of infrared radiators this winter to see what their kind of energy use is, how much they're spending on electricity, and I'll try and factor all that into my calculations so that I can decide really what to do next year. But as it stands, I think this is probably the final update for this year, with respect to me trying to get off fossil fuels this year. Unfortunately, it seems like I'm going to fail, but only in as far as the central heating. But then that was always going to be the big one anyway, and it's just a shame that this house has got the one pipe system, and that we hadn't realised that sooner. The guy who came out actually said it's a good job that we did discover that and told them, because had we not discovered that and we'd actually gone ahead with the heat pump installation, they'd have come out and started ripping up floorboards and taking things out and everything, and then they discovered that it was a one pipe system. They'd have had to stop and put everything back again and cancel the whole project. So he said it's a good job that we found that out now before they'd done anything, because yeah, it's just not compatible. So yeah, unfortunate, but it is what it is. We've got to get that sorted first, and that, yeah, throws up a whole new set of questions of whether or not it's actually worth keeping the wet radiator system or going to some kind of alternative. So yeah, I didn't manage to do it, unfortunately, but I will keep you updated in videos next year about what we eventually do. We will definitely try and get it sorted over the summer next year, so that by next winter, you know, the gas has been shut off completely and we are fully disconnected. But that's it for this update. So thanks for watching. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video. Cheers.